So thank you so much. If you just joined us, this is the MCC Art Faculty Virtual Art Exhibit. And our next artist is Kim Lindaberry. So let me spotlight Kim. Welcome, Kim. You're up. Can you see the screen?
I can. Yes, I can. I just had to turn on my microphone. So you can hear me, correct?
Yes.
Okay, good. These works are an evolution out of actually years of work of creatures, humanoid type figures that I've been working on for quite a few years, and they have evolved. There's been a real evolution to them. And if you go to my website, you'll actually see a really distinct, you don't have to go there yet, maybe.
Okay, at the end, we can go and look at them in the gallery.
Okay. But as there's been an evolution of these, and each time they seem to evolve a little bit differently. I know that at my exhibition, I had a gallery exhibition at the Lady Volkus Gallery a couple of years ago, and I filled the place up. And I know one of the comments that I got from that, somebody that was walking around on opening night was said, my girlfriend's really creeped out by these things. And so I admit that they may be creepy to some people, but to me, they aren't creepy. It's the intent, I guess, that my intention is not for them to be creepy, but they are otherworldly, that they are creatures that do not necessarily exist in this world or this galaxy, I should say. I also view them as possible, of leading us to a different future, we'll say. The ones that we're seeing in the gallery here, as opposed to what's in was on my website, were these two-headed figures now have kind of developed. And there's really kind of a dynamic that can go on with these. I mean, you look at the Janus, the god Janus, the two-headed god, and you think about the potential, or I thought about the potential of, well, what if you do have somebody that's got two heads? That, these can represent internal conversations between yourself, talking to yourself back and forth, or two different people that are bound in the same body. And there's really actually a couple that lives here, two twins, I guess you would call them, that live here in the United States. And they were successfully born, and they've grown to adulthood, and they teach. And just to contemplate how it must be to have somebody there. I guess you would never know what life was like without having them there, So, but I like the dialogues that can happen between these two different beings, and the dialogues that they can have with other people. I believe in my artist statement, I said something along the lines of, there we go, that they're manifestations of internal conversations that we have with ourselves and the external conversations we can have with others. So I look at them as potentially transcending just our normal earthly realm, we'll say. The pandemic, I know that other people have already spoken about the pandemic, and it didn't necessarily change what I was doing, but I think that these may have evolved, but these were something that were done within this year, that they started back in January. And I started working on taking the figures. Originally, the figures were something that I had sculpted. Then I did a 3D scan of them. And then from that 3D scan, I was able to manipulate and print smaller figures. And now I even have prints of these two-headed figures. I still have some that I need to, that I plan on printing that I have not printed on a 3D printer. So.
Showing your gallery.
Okay. So I think that's pretty much, it for the gallery. I don't know if there's anything at the on my website or not, but I can always come back to that another time, I guess.
Well, I'm sharing your website now.
Okay.
The images from the Sherry Leedy gallery, and how large are the actual figures? You can kind of see them in the 4 feet, 5 feet.
I'm not seeing my gallery, so.
Oh, let me see. Stop share. Let me see if I'm
not seeing the website.
Up here we go. There we go.
Here we go. Okay. These figures that you're seeing there, the large figures are 4 foot tall, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And I made them that size. I intended them to be that size from the very beginning I conceived of them. And those are the ones that I made first before I made the smaller ones. I wanted them to be something that was not our normal human size, that they would be something otherworldly. And if you actually look at them closely, they have a very skeletal feel about the hips and the waist, and the legs are kind of very skeletal. There's not a lot of meat there, but I intentionally made the upper torso very healthy, muscular, and there was a real intention there of trying to almost be these being transcendent figures, that they weren't necessarily going to be human figures at all. I never intended them to be that. And I call them the travelers, because they are intended to kind of travel through space and time. I have a variety of them in other materials and other scales. There are some that are bronze, some that are cast urethane. And let's see, I was wondering if you can go down and click on nichos. Can you see nichos there in the side menu? Side menu, there's.
Nichos. Okay, 1 second. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. And here we go. These figures, this one's 22 inches tall and 4 inches deep, or 22 inches wide, excuse me, 4 inches deep, and I believe about 36 inches tall. And put them in these nichos. They're almost religious relic type things. But in this particular panel that slide you're showing right now, I also intentionally paired them. I'm trying to, can kind of be gender bending, I guess, or not necessarily gender bending, but they have there's a male-male couple, there's a female-male couple, and then there's a female-female couple. So trying to get in that, seems to be there's a possibility of somebody for everybody, whether it's male, female, female. If you can maybe, that'd be a good one. You click on that right where I see that. These nichos that they are surrounded by have glyphs on them, and the glyphs are actually of a font that exists in the world, and they actually say things. If you know the right code, you can decipher them. Some of the glyphs that surround some of these are just prime numbers. And if you know what prime numbers are, they are unique. And so the intent of that is that they are meant to show the uniqueness of all of us. Then there are some that are, we'll say, intersexed or hermaphroditic. And yeah, that's probably one right there. There you go. These are smaller scale. You can maybe even see the scale there. It's 3 inches deep, 12 inches wide, I think 18 inches tall. And, you know, these are kind of gender bending. Not kind of, they are gender bending. That there are, you know, natural hermaphrodites in the world, born that way. But then there are people that choose to make a transition between the two. And these figures, as you can may be able to read the title there on the slide, it says they. And then the FM stands for the female upper torso and a male lower torso. And there are some that I actually have that are the other way around, that it's would be an M over an F. It's a male upper torso, female lower torso. But I'm trying to show that, you know, with all the glyphs that surround there are prime numbers in here, and, you know, everyone's unique. Everyone is kind of special, I guess. Could you maybe, as long as we're doing this, clicking through, go over to the one that says Westing, down, down, up. There we go, Westing. Westing is a term that I learned that that goes back to ancient Egypt. And Westing is following the sun. And at the end of life, you follow the sun. You go into the west. You know, the sun rises in the east and goes to the west. And these are intended to be the ships that would carry you into the west. There are various genders in here. There's male, male, or male, female, and then the intersex ones also. But that's kind of a quick explanation of what Westing is all about. These are 30, how long are those? I forget, 53 inches long, it looks like. I've got written down there, I forget. It's been a while since I've had one been in the same room with one, but yes, they're fairly decent size. And I guess after that, I don't know if there's another one, that area I'd like to visit. Yeah, close-ups of these.
Well, thank you. Can you tell us where you're retired, but you were here full-time at Longview, correct?
Correct. And at Longview, when I was there, I was teaching a smorgasbord of classes: sculpture, ceramics, computer design, digital photography, foundation class, a little bit of everything. So, and even art history. But so I really do appreciate the invitation to be invited. You know, the pandemic really has put a stress on getting work out, getting work seen. And even though we can continue to make work, it's it's kind of disheartening to not have it seen. I mean, I can put it on my webpage, but it's nice to be represented among this group of other fine artists. So I appreciate that, Bernadette. I appreciate the invitation. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your artwork. And all of these artworks are for sale. And if you see anything that you are interested in, and these are limited editions, archival prints, and if you see anything, contact me, Bernadette Torres. bernadette.torres@mcckc.edu, and I will get you in touch with the artist, and you're welcome to purchase the images. Thank you so
And
much. Again.
And a percentage of that goes to a scholarship fund too, doesn't it?
A percentage, 30% of all sales goes into our scholarship fund. And every April we have a student art exhibit and sale. And there is opportunities to become a friend of the Carter Art Center member. And what that also gives you is first choice in purchasing artwork at the student art exhibit. And that happens every annual spring in April. So definitely come back in April. And if you see anything for sale, it's a win-win, money for the artist and also money for our scholarship. So thank you so much, Kim, for putting that in. The next, I would say, we are going to share. Let me stop share.